crafters. This is Raquel with Paints and Glitter, and I'm coming to you this morning with some Saturday morning makes. I'm actually a little late in posting this video today, but I wanted to go ahead and share some cards that I have been making recently. Also, some of these I did share in a live video, and I made one of them in a live video, but I'll explain as I go along. So the first card that I'm going to show you is this one. I'm so happy with the results of this card. I thought it came out so darling. I did use for this one the Spellbinders Lavender Trike. I'd had this in my stash and not yet used it. So I'm very happy to be participating in this because it's encouraging me to get some items out that need to be used. This one I recently hauled from Hobby Lobby. It is from Becca Feekin, and I just thought it was absolutely gorgeous, and I love that it has that edge. I was able to use diamond dots just to give it some texture there, and I thought it was just so very lovely and delicate. So I really like also that you can layer it. For this I did use some Prima papers as well as some Blue Fern Studios papers, and then I just colored that little trike to match using alcohol markers. So I'm going to set that one aside. The next card is very similar because I did use the same Becca Feekin dies for the background, which are the layering frames there. And by the way, that one is called S5399 Candlewick Rectangles, if you're curious about that. So this one I was super happy to make. I made this in a live video that I did share this week. And then for this, I also used this gorgeous little bird mold that I picked up from my girlfriend Carolyn, who's Tea Time and Dolls. So she's selling these on Instagram. So I did make the little birds, and then I used some mixed media materials as well as some oxides to go ahead and color them in. Then I used some shabby ribbon from my stash that I picked up at Hobby Lobby, this little twine bow, and then this ephemera piece was actually from Prima, and all I did was use that die set to cut it out, and I really love the way that that turned out also. I did trim the edges with blue ink to make it coincide or match the rest of the card. So there's that one. For this card, I used the Springtime Pattern paper from Sizzix. I also used a TonicStudios die and a Sizzix frame and stamp set that comes to coordinate with this entire paper collection. And then I used another Sizzix butterfly die set from Tim Holtz. So I'm going to show you those items. This is the framelits and stamp set from Sizzix that I used for the frame here for the sentiment. And the neat thing is that the pattern paper coordinates with the die, so all you have to do is lay that die on top of the image and then cut it out. So this one is 665-388. Here's where it comes with the sentiments, but I actually used another one from the same company for the Sending Love. Okay, and then for this top part here, I did use the double header, decorative header folds florals, just that butterfly portion here and the top that allows you to cut that border. That's what I used to be able to make this here, which I did top off with little diamond dots just to make it match the rest of the card. And then finally that little butterfly is from Tim Holtz for Sizzix 664409. I think I used, let's see, which one did I use? This one here, which is the smallest one in this set. And I did use TonicStudios Pearlized paper for that background, as well as the butterfly there. Okay, and that's top folding like so. I also used just a teal blue cardstock there to make the background, and then that strip there, just because I thought it would lend a nice pop of color to that. Then, let's see here, 2 more cards. This one here I made using, of course, I love using Gorgeous Girls stamps, and I try to use them here and there because I neglect them, sadly. So this little girl here is actually the pirate stamp, and I think she is darling. So this is called, let's see, on the back is the name. So she is called Piracy. I don't, however, like skulls or anything having to do with the representation of death. So when I stamp her, what I do is that I alter it, which is the fun thing, is that you don't have to use all parts of one stamp. So I just made her little hat into a beret, and then to cover up the part I didn't like, I put all these little tiny flowers. I did use Nouveau drops, but for some reason they cracked when they dried, but that's okay. I think it lends a kind of shabby look to the card. Then here I used a Lou Collins die, which I don't think I have with me at the moment. The flowers here I also colored in a live tutorial, at least one of them. I was showing the technique that I used there, and that was with this Magnificent Magnolia stamp set from TonicStudios. I only used the rose. Then for the background that you see right behind her, which is a pretty little panel, I used this very big TonicStudios die set that I'm going to try to fit in the frame here. This is a Dimensions die called French Armoire, and it does make that. But I only used one panel to create that background for her, and then I used some American Crafts black cardstock that I did alter using Nouveau embellishment mousse, and also a TonicStudios stencil that I don't have in front of me either. And then I used Nouveau drops all along there to give that some dimension. And that's the yellow base of that card. The other thing that I made was using this paper collection here, which is from Craft Consortium, another one I've been using recently. Also this stamp set that I've shared previously as well, Miss B from Prima, Julie Nutting. I used this stamp set from Prima that I just picked up and I shared in a haul video. I used another, another Prima collection that I just purchased, but I don't have the sheet in front of me either, but you can watch the haul video if you're interested. And then I used some seam binding I got from Etsy. The same Sizzix butterflies I shared before, and so this is the card. It is a 6x6. Let me move these items out of the way. And I'm so happy with the results. I think she's so absolutely beautiful. And here's where I used that little bitty stamp from Prima. I actually stamped it on her hair. I also fussy cut her little diadem there. I used some embossing. I used the butterflies in the background. So what I did here was I adhered one of them here, cut the edge, and then used the other edge actually here as her outfit there. And she does have a little bee stamped on her. That's actually from the same stamp set as the Miss B. I also used some little itty bitty hearts here. These actually came from another die set that I've been using a lot lately, and that is this one here by Lisa Jones for Sizzix, and it is 665079. Comes with a bunch of little flowers and hearts and that sort of thing. So I used that for her little earrings and her heart there. I used some actual antique buttons that I didn't even bother cleaning. They're really antique. And so just to lend to that look, I left them just as they were. I didn't scrub them or anything. And then there's another butterfly back here. I did dry emboss the strip of paper that you can see there. And that's just with a script embossing folder that I have from, I want to say it's Paper Studio. And then I did use for the tag here, this die set from Daisy May, which I absolutely love. I'm sorry, I just bumped my light. So I used that one. And I apologize for the glare, but this is the best that I can do with my lighting at the moment, because it's the best that I can do with my lighting at the moment. This little tidbit here of ribbon, which I think is absolutely gorgeous, was from my friend Vicky, who wrapped something in it, and so I just used a little piece there. I made the heart, I think I mentioned that, and so this ephemera piece is from Prima, but I did use the dies I just mentioned to cut it out. And then for that love sentiment, I did cut that out twice and layer it. For that sentiment, it's this one here, and this is from the Brush Strokes collection, and it does make a clipboard and everything. This is from the Textures collection by Lou Collins, and this piece of lace I think is from Renee Bouquets. I'm pretty sure it is. I stitched the borders with my sewing machine, and then I completed it with some little diamond dots as well. And then on the inside I did use a stamp that I just picked up from scrapbook.com, this one here, and I used this I Know the Plans I Have for You, and it's actually a really gorgeous Bible verse. I wish they had the rest of it, because it's Jeremiah 29:11, and it's plans to give you a future and a hope. So I just used a little pieces that were left over there to add the stamp in a lavender color, which is the same color I used for the rest of this. I did stamp also the background there with some Prima stamps that I have, and on the back I went ahead and repeated that, and that's that same little stamp set that I mentioned before, this one here, and then some older Prima stamps that I have. I use a little butterfly there, and that's about it. This is all of the cards that I'm sharing today. Had a lot of fun making them. Just got inspired to share, of course, and if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. I know I always say that, but of course, if I forgot anything, feel free to contact me and I'll be happy to tell you. Thank you again to Jill for sharing her Saturday morning makes, and just inspiring us to keep crafting, of course, and using what we have. This has been a lot of fun. I hope that you have enjoyed this video and that you can be inspired and be blessed, and I thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.